Your reasons for listening to the show, well, those are your own. But just keep in mind that the views, information, or opinions expressed on the Tuddle Daily Podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of our sponsors. Yeah, it's called free speech, people. Nobody's forcing you to listen.
Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. I hope you guys are having a great Monday so far. Make sure you go and check out my YouTube page, youtube.com/Tuddle. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button, because when you hit that bell button, you're going to get alerted to anytime I go live or upload any new content. I don't want anybody to think that I'm going to, kind of go away from doing the audio podcast. That's not the case. But now that I'm monetized, when I do my live streams, you guys can cheer money, you could donate, you can do anything like that, as well as even if you watch any of my old content, now there are ads that are playing before it, so it's going to be another way of income coming in that's only going to make the Tuddle Daily Podcast better. So go to youtube.com/Tuddle. I did a new thing, something I'm going to start doing. I'm going to do Coffee Talk with Tuddle on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. That's going to be a new thing, so check it out. A lot of people watched this morning. If you happen to miss it, you can check it out by just going to my YouTube page, youtube.com/Tuddle. I'm going to get right into the content. I saw this story over the weekend. I think it's really, really ridiculous, but it's also a very interesting story.
A Belgian woman has been banned from a zoo after she reportedly had a 4-year affair. She called it affair, okay, with a chimp named Cheetah.
I mean, if you're into bestiality, wouldn't you want it to be with a primate? They are the closest thing to us. You know, there was this rumor going around. That's how the AIDS virus started, from Africa, because somebody ended up banging a primate. I don't know if that's true. I always thought that that was an urban legend. But, this is another case of the news kind of being salacious and trying to make it seem, just because the woman said affair. They're trying to make it seem like the woman was, spreading it, kicking it out wide for this chimpanzee called Cheetah. And she really, really wasn't.
She had visited with him every week at the zoo for years. They would visit each other, blow kisses to each other through the glass, wave to one another.
I don't know. Now the more that I'm hearing about this story, it kind of does seem like this chick, this old lady, was kind of kicking it out wide for this chimpanzee. Seriously, I think that she probably would have had sex with this chimpanzee if they wouldn't have been separated from glass. But, see, I also, you don't want to mess around with a chimpanzee. You guys all remember the story about Travis the chimp. Even though chimpanzees are not as big as gorillas, they will mess up your whole entire life. Because Travis the chimp, this woman, if you never heard the story, was keeping this chimpanzee, Travis the chimp, as a pet in captivity. And she was feeding it liquor and Xanax and stuff. And I guess Travis was just had enough of it and bit off her nose, ripped off her ears, pulled out her eyes. I remember the day that they did the reveal. They did I think she was one of the first people to ever have a face transplant in the United States. And, for what the damage that Travis the chimp did, I got to tell you, they did a really, really good job on her face, even though she looked like some abstract art painting that you would see one of those famous artists paint back in the day.
The zoo said the special relationship had caused Cheetah to be isolated and shunned by the other chimps in the habitat.
Oh. See, humans forget that we are nothing but animals. We are nothing but evolved animals. People are always like, people aren't born racist. People aren't born racist. So are you trying to tell me that these chimps, they were looking at this chimpanzee and were like, oh, he's talking to a white woman. Talking to a white woman. I'm not African American, but I see videos all the time of black women, and I'm not comparing black people, African Americans, to primates or chimps or anything like that, but African American women get mad because this woman is a white woman. So what I'm trying to say is, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, all right, so you're going outside of your race, you're going outside of your species, and we're not having it. We're not having it at all. So these chimpanzees are actually racist towards human beings. They're like, all right, you're going to spend time with this chick. You're trying to get laid by this human, which is nothing but an evolved us. Yeah, we are going to F up your whole day. We're going to ostracize you. We're kicking you out of the group.
It's a really sad story.
Yeah, what'd you find out?
This must hit you close to home.
It's just all of it makes me sad because Cheetah, first of all, is being completely ostracized by the other chimps because she prefers people. It's not just this particular woman. She does love this woman, the chimp. But this chimp also just gravitates towards humans because before it went to the zoo, it was a pet with a human. So all it knows is human.
I've never really understood why people think that it's a good idea to own and keep wild animals that can rip your face off. The going trend right now, like in the Middle East, like in Saudi Arabia, all these crown princes and stuff like that, they'll have like full-size lions on chains walking them around. Do you understand how quickly, if that lion was having a bad day or just wanted to like get back to his natural like ways, he could kill these Saudi Arabians or Middle Eastern people in a heartbeat. It would only take a few seconds for that lion to put his teeth around the throat of its owner, and it's all over with. I've never understood it. Mike Tyson had a white tiger. We all know that. Michael Jackson had Bubbles the chimp. Why? I don't get it. I don't understand why we allow this to happen. I don't even agree with the SeaWorld stuff, but it's not like we can actually take those orcas that are held in captivity in SeaWorld and put them back in the wild because they've been in captivity for too long. They've been getting fed by us. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to be orcas. And when you do the same thing with the chimpanzee, because this cheetah, the chimp, was actually owned by a human. That's why the cheetah, the chimp, is gravitating towards this woman. It would rather hang out with a human than it would with its own kind.
So the zoo's trying to protect the chimp because the chimp community there, according to the zookeepers, do not like that this chimp has related to, stop it, has related to the human.
By the way, you can tell this is not a hard-hitting news show. This is like one of those, like The Talk or like The View. It's a bunch of people just giving their opinions and stuff. They're really not. They're the type of people that could not make it in hard-hitting news. But it is true. Like, I don't understand it. Like, are you going to think that the other chimps in the community are going to forget? We're acting like these chimpanzees. It's already shown that these chimpanzees are a little biased, a little racist, if you could call it that, or specious. Are they specious? They're not going to forget that Cheetah the chimp likes to be around humans instead of his own kind. So just because you're going to pull this woman away, it's not like the other chimpanzees are going to forget about that. Hell no. No. It's kind of like a prison. Cheetah the chimp is just going to be going about his day, going to wake up, going to go out to the water, get a little drink, and the next thing you know, it's going to get shanked by another chimpanzee. Probably going to be like a screwdriver or like a piece of glass that they shaved down into a blade. That's what's going to end up happening to Cheetah the Chimp. So what you need to do is put Cheetah the Chimp in its own area and let humans come in contact with it. But I still wouldn't trust Cheetah the Chimp. I mean, they're wild animals. I don't understand. Like, there's some people that have alligators as pets. Some people have, like, monitor lizards. Some people have boa constrictors. That's the reason why we're having a problem down in South Florida. People get these animals. They become too much. They go out into the wilderness and just set it free. Well, also, Hurricane Andrew had a lot to do with that. Speaking of Hurricane Andrew, I feel really, really bad. I find it kind of weird that Hurricane Ida is hitting and made landfall on the same day as Hurricane Katrina did. And Hurricane Katrina is not even as strong as what Hurricane Ida was. It was close to a Category 5 when it hit there. So I'm really, really curious to see how New Orleans handles this. See if they made any changes in the levee system and stuff. Because if Hurricane Katrina did that much damage, I can only imagine what this one's going to do.
The show's an hour long.
First of all, the woman is sad that she can't see her friend anymore. She can't, apparently. She can't just interact with it.
Also, by the way, what type of life is this woman living that she doesn't have any other friends besides this chimpanzee by the name of Cheetah? Like, seriously. I mean, you got to understand, I think she is an older woman. And, I always wanted to, that's the thing about it. A lot of people don't spend enough time with the elderly. I love history. I got an interview coming up in the next couple of weeks with this female comedian out of California. Got a podcast called the Health Podcast. History I'd Like to Fuck. I'm going to have her on, but there's so much we can learn from the elderly because they have seen a lot of stuff that our generation or the generations that are younger than me that we have not seen. And there's so much that you can learn, so much wisdom that you can learn from them. And that's why I always wanted to go volunteer at a retirement home. Just to go sit, because I could sit and listen to old people talk all the time. When I went down to Delray Beach with my friend Addie, because of her uncle dying, they had a memorial service and stuff. And just sitting around hearing the old stories about my friend Addie's Uncle Snook, because they were a part of a gang up in Long Island area. And I could have sat there and talked to them for hours. So I just don't get it. This woman must just be lonely, does not have any friends. Her family doesn't come and visit her. And that's why she has formed this bond with Cheetah the Chimp.
And the chimp's sad that it can't interact with humans. But what's the chimp supposed to do? Because he's being shunned by all the other chimps. Makes me sad.
The chimp made a decision. It tried to level up and start hanging out with humans. It made a decision.
Oh, it chose?
Missed.
It chose to go be a pet? It chose?
They were having a connection there, Sam, through the glass. And I don't blame the chimp. You can't go back to hanging with chimps after you've been hanging with people.
It's getting beat up.
Look, see, I despise racism. I really, really do. But even in the animal kingdom, chimps want to hang out with their own kind. And when somebody else goes out of their kind, they're ostracized. They are looked down upon. Seriously. That's why people, look down on interracial relationships or, why are you with such and such? You should be with your own kind. Well, the thing is that we are all the same kind. And it kind of shows you. I mean, that's why we are the evolved species. We came from primates. And maybe this is just something that stuck with us. Just like this, I don't even know what you call a group of chimpanzees. Is it a pack? Is it a herd? Just like a bunch of crows. You call them a murder of crows. I don't even know. I have to look that up. What you call a group of chimpanzees. But they are. They're like, fuck you, buddy. If you want to hang out with a human, we don't want your kind around. And that sounds a lot like racism to me.
I don't know why I'm laughing. The other chimps are hurting it.
Are you going to start a chimp anti-bullying campaign?
No, but I'm only smiling because, like, it makes me, I don't know how to deal with my emotion.
Right, sure.
I'm very awkward right now.
I hate playing audio from, like, news shows like this because, this is not news. It's not. I mean, these people are just trying to be funny. I'm sure most of it is scripted. I'm sure a lot of these jokes are like, I'm going to say this, and then you're going to say this. I mean, it's almost like professional wrestling. They're working with each other, and these people really don't give a goddamn about this woman or Cheetah the Chimp. They just thought it was a great story, and we're going to make jokes. One person's going to act like they're sad because the chimp is getting bullied, and then the other guy is like, oh, well, what are you going to start an anti-bullying chimpanzee campaign? Give me a break, people. Just give me a break. The next story that I want to get into is also animal related, and I've never really understood. I know that it is a mental disorder, hoarding. Now, like, what you hoard, I mean, as long as it's not affecting me or like something else, I really don't have a problem with it. I think it's kind of nasty. Because, I mean, for a while there, I was addicted to that TV show. I think it's on A&E, Hoarders. And, like, just some of the stuff that people would hoard. Like, this one woman, she didn't throw any of her dirty, used toilet paper away. She kept poop toilet paper in bags. And she just couldn't get rid of them. Could not get rid of them. Q-tips. He was like, oh, I could reuse some of these Q-tips, there's not enough earwax on it. I could get another use out of it. No, man, just look, I've had my mental issues and stuff, so I really can't throw glass when I live in or throw rocks because I do live in a glass house. I have my OCDs. I have my weird quirks and stuff like that. But where I do have a problem is when people hoard animals. I do have a problem with that because, for one, and this next story I'm about to play for you, this is how bad it is. If your house stinks so bad that your neighbors 3 houses down can smell the putrid smell of cat piss, cat poop, and all that stuff, then you might have a little bit of a problem. But not only, like, it's not like you're hoarding inanimate objects like poopy toilet paper and stuff like that. No, you are hoarding living, breathing organisms like cats. I've never been a big cat person. I've had cats throughout my life. I've been more of a dog person. You see people hoarding dogs all the time as well. But I do have a real problem when you start involving animals.
According to neighbors, conditions inside this animal hoarding house in Mather were so repulsive, many spent the summer months locked inside their homes trying to escape the smell.
If you're not a cat owner and you have never actually smelled cat piss, it is the worst. I don't understand what is in a cat's diet, why cat piss smells so bad. But I remember my mom telling me a story. My Uncle Richard owned a brand new, like, 69 Corvette. I mean, it was fully loaded for back in the day. And he left one of the windows down, and a male cat, ended up... See, the male cats are worse than the female cats. I mean, cat piss just smells bad altogether. But this male cat got in the Corvette and just sprayed piss all over the place. And it was like, my mom said it took a month at the very least for it to start being bearable enough to ride in the car, but you could still smell it. So these people that are coming in there to gather all these cats, the smell is so bad. They are all in full hazmat suits, respirators and stuff like that, because a lot of that cat piss, it turns into ammonia, and I think that it can actually be a big health risk to the people if they breathe it in long enough. Plus, you're forgetting about all the cat poop as well too, because she had over 100 cats, and there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with all of them because she had them in cages. So it's not like they had a litter box. For the most part, cats are actually pretty clean. But when you stuff them in a bunch of cages, they don't have access to a litter box. See, that was the thing about the last cat. My mom had a cat by the name of Cooney. She died last year. She was about 18 years old. When we lived in DeLeon Springs, she was just a cat that rolled up into the house. Not into the house, but she had a litter of kittens underneath our porch. So my mom ended up getting all the kittens adopted to good homes. And then she ended up keeping Cooney, which was the mother. And why we called her Cooney, because she was kind of like a raccoon. She had the raccoon eyes, not the eyes itself, but she had like a mask like raccoons did. And that's why we called her Cooney. I remember one time, and it was a very, very innocent mistake. Because sometimes, for short, we wouldn't call her Cooney. We would yell for her, because during the day she would stay outside, and when we wanted her to come in, we didn't want her to be outside at night, because sometimes we have coyotes and stuff like that could catch her. So we wanted her to be inside, so we would just open up the door, and we'd be like, Coon, Cooney, Coon, come in. And when my parents first moved to the Hobo Fish Camp, we can't get cable here, so we ended up getting satellite. We have the Dish Network, and the technician that actually came in to install the cable or the satellite and get everything hooked up happened to be an African-American gentleman. Very, very nice. I was there. He was great. And Cooney, it came into the house because the door was open, and my mom yelled, Coon, get out of the house. Now, if you don't know why that would be a problem, I'm not even going to go into explanation. My mom, as soon as she said it, she realized it, and she extremely apologized to this nice gentleman. I actually think my mom tipped the guy $100 just to make up for the miscommunication, because my mom never in a million years would do something racist. It was just a big, big misunderstanding, and she never, ever lived that down.
It's worse than horse barns at the fairgrounds, so.
Wearing full protective gear,
Have breakfast? I had a banana.
humane officers from Teddy Bear Care had to take breaks after entering the home on 5th and Short Streets Thursday while investigating complaints their office has been receiving since July.
The floor is just covered with, feces and urine. You have to watch because you'll slide.
That is nasty as F, man. Like, seriously, there is so much cat poop, cat piss, that the floor is so slimy that you got to watch your step, because, you know what? Just kill me now. Like, seriously, if I slipped on a floor and landed in a bunch of cat piss and cat poop, yeah, I'm ending it. And look, I've tried to kill myself before, and I'm not trying to make jokes about suicide and stuff, but my God, even if you're wearing a hazmat suit and all that stuff, if you slip and you land in a pile of cat piss and cat poop, I think I would rather be sprayed by a skunk than slip and fall in cat piss and cat poop.
Officers estimate about 100 cats were living in the house, the garage, and the owner's truck, many of them not fixed, dehydrated, and suffering from skin conditions because of fleas.
That's why I do not keep carpet. Growing up in DeLeon Springs, we had carpet in the house, and we ripped all that stuff out because we had a lot of hunting dogs. I don't know if I've told this story. My dad raised some of the best award-winning Walker hounds. My dad ended up getting 2 dogs from a friend of his for some work that he did. We got the 2 dogs were John and Freckles. I know I get very cringy when you name a dog a human, any pet a human's name. Like, it really, really is not the greatest thing. And it makes you look like a complete douchebag. but that was what their name was. I mean, Freckles is not a human name, but John was a Ridgeback Walker Hound. He did. He had the Ridgeback. He had the spike tear right down the spine of his back. And we had those two dogs produce some of the best winning. We used to do and go to the fox trials. We didn't fox hunt. We didn't kill the fox or anything, but we would go to the fox hunts because fox and deer kind of have a little bit of a similar smell to them. So a lot of people will train their dogs during off deer hunting seasons with foxes. And you wouldn't believe all the trophies my dad won from that. But we ripped up every bit of carpet in the double wide that we had growing up in DeLeon Springs because fleas, once you get fleas, oh man, they are hard as F to get rid of. And that's why we ripped up. We went straight up tile. And I don't want you to think we were all fancy and we got the real tile. No, we got that linoleum stuff that comes in squares that you rip off the sticky part and then you just lay it down on the floor. It was ghetto as hell, but guess what? It got rid of all the fleas.
In cases like this, you've just got to wonder what the owner was thinking. Well, meet Beverly Vitalia.
It's just not fair. I didn't ask for people to do this to me. I didn't need this burden. I'm a widow. I have 5 kids. I have enough burdens.
Well, bitch, I'm sorry. If you got kids, then look, it was your decision to bring all these cats in. I don't care how much of an animal lover you are. Matter of fact, you make things even worse. For you to have over 100 cats and you got kids, you are you're just a bad mother. There's no debating it. Like, I mean, that is a big health risk to your kids, breathing in that ammonia smell from cat piss, cat poop, bacteria, fleas, ticks, whatever it may be. So don't play the victim like, oh, I didn't ask for this. It was your decision to start bringing those cats in. Leave them outside. They've been doing just fine outside. Cats will naturally hunt for themselves, and it's just survival of the fittest. So don't play the victim. Like I said, you chose to bring all those cats into your house.
Vitalia claims people have been dumping these cats on her property since 2018. She tells KDKA she's reached out for help from numerous agencies, posted online adoption ads for the cats, but nothing works. Based on her explanation, the cats aren't the only ones being rescued. So is she, from a life she says she never asked for.
It's destroyed my budget. It has ruined my house. I can't spend time with my family.
Sorry. Listen, I don't feel bad for you. You want me to be honest? This bitch knows that she's in trouble. So she's trying to play the victim role. Like she didn't ask for this. Oh, it ruined my life, ruined my house, ruined my time with my kids and my family. No, you chose to bring those cats in. You did. You know how you could have solved that problem? Take the carriers outside, open up the door, dump the cats out, and let them fend for themselves. Telling you, cats are smart. As long as they haven't been declawed, I think that's one of the meanest things that you can do to a cat is declaw them, because you're basically taking away their main defense system. So, cats will be just fine if you put them outside. Like dogs are dumb. Dogs are dumb sometimes. Like dumb dogs will unconditionally love you. Cats are just dicks. If I'm being honest, cats are complete assholes. They will only show you love when they want something or they're being needy. And this is all on you, lady. Don't play the victim on this one just because you got caught and now you're in trouble.
Now, according to humane officers, none of those cats appeared to be near death. They will be quarantined, though, for 10 days for infectious diseases. But nursing them back to proper health is going to be a serious task, maybe even kind of impossible as things stand right now.
Let's be honest. That's a nice way to say that most of those cats are all going to be euthanized. They really are. I'm not trying to, be a shock jock or anything like that. But that's what the Humane Society does. There's no way all those cats are going to get adopted. All those cats, you probably could not even touch them because, you know, say what you want, even though house cats are small, they will F up your complete world. They will. Like, a cat will destroy you in a heartbeat, and you won't even know it. So what I'm trying to say is that this woman basically signed their death warrant when she took them all in and made them wild. They're basically feral cats now. They've been cooped up. They're not going to be able to be adopted because nobody's going to want those cats because they're crazy as hell. Going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to talk about a story about a teacher that happens to be gay at a Christian school and being asked to denounce his gayness. Be back in a few minutes. You are listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
Great news, folks. You now have the chance to see the face in front of that sexy voice. Right you are, sir. The Tuddle Daily Podcast streams Monday to Friday on YouTube. Anything can happen at the Hobo Fish Camp. Okay, sir. That's enough. Okay, so go to youtube.com/Tuddle. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you're notified anytime Tuddle goes live. Good job, sir.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home in Volusia, Brevard, or Flagler counties, you need to reach out to Ian Hanna at ianhannahomes.com. On his site, you can learn more about Ian's use of premium photography and aggressive marketing to sell your home quickly and painlessly. So if you're a first-time buyer and not sure where to start, connect with Ian at ianhannahomes.com.
Questions? Comments? Concerns? Compliments? Or do you just want to tell Tuddle to fuck off? In any event, contact Tuddle. Tuddle@gmail.com. It's, Tuddle with 2 Ds, dumbass.
Welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I know that I said that I was going to hop on another story, but I could not pass up the opportunity to talk to my next guest. Do you remember probably, I don't even know, 5, 6, maybe 8 months ago, that I had a chance to talk to a person that lives in Afghanistan. During that time, I had to do a lot of production work to disguise his voice because, you know, there could be problems and stuff like that. But my next guest is the same person that I had on, and it is Roger. And Roger is now actually in the United States of America. Roger, how are you, my friend?
Hey, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful.
Doing good.
I'm doing well, man. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how happy I am that you made it to the United States. Because I watch a lot of news and stuff, and I've been seeing what's been unfolding from your country and stuff. And I was thinking about you all the time, about your safety and stuff. And I'm glad that you finally made it here. How long have you been in the United States for now, Roger?
Thank you very much for the compliment and welcoming me to the United States. I had my flight on 8th August. So it was actually just 4 days ago, the government collapsed in Afghanistan. So I'm happy that I made it on that time. Otherwise, I will be stuck at the same, like other people who are trying to flee from Afghanistan. So I would be one of them who are stuck on the behind of the airport gates. So yeah, I'm lucky that I made it, and I'm here now in.
Don't say where you are. Just say United States. Now, Roger, can I ask you what did you fly commercially? Like, how did you get out of Afghanistan? Like, was it a commercial flight? I'm just curious. And then where do you go from Afghanistan? What was the next country you went to? Because I'm sure it wasn't a direct flight, correct?
Actually, my flight was different from others because, as I told you before, my flight was on 8th August. And on that time, there was commercial flights from Afghanistan to Qatar and from Qatar to the United States. So I was part of evacuation, and that time the Qatar Airways was helping the evacuees to uh, from Kabul to Qatar and from Qatar back to the United States. But nowadays the scenario changed, and you know that
It's military now getting
yeah,
people out.
it's military aircraft that getting people out of Afghanistan, and it's totally different from the way that I arrived here.
Let me ask you a quick question. With everything that happened, you know, they had that bombing and stuff. The Afghanistan, the citizens of Afghanistan, what do they think about the American troops there for the most part? Like, I mean, it was sad that we lost those troops and stuff, as well as the Afghanistan people that were their lives were lost. It just kind of give me an example, like, of how most people view the American military being there.
So now since everybody is living in some kind of fear in Afghanistan, maybe they are having different thoughts about America and American troops. But as far as I know, almost 90% of the people who are living in Afghanistan, and especially 100% of those people who are living in Kabul and other big cities like Mazar-e-Sharif, Jalalabad, Herat, they were having a good relationship with the American troops, and they were having a mutual respect and understanding with each other, because both of them were know that what is the humanity and why the America is here, and they were respecting American troops because they knew that
they were there to help.
Right, the American troops are in Afghanistan because of them, to help them, and their presence is very important for them, because after their withdrawal something will happen, and we know eventually that after they announced the withdrawal, the government of Afghanistan collapsed, and all of the people are now in fear, and even those people who have not worked with the U.S. government or troops, and they are also trying somehow to get out of Afghanistan, because in 20 years that they built a life, and
it's a whole generation, right? It's a whole generation of people that have not had to live the way that it used to be. I mean, back, you know, we're talking about women that now have professional jobs and stuff. They've gone to college. They're working. They can drive and stuff, and they've never. That's all that they know. And now that it must be a big shock, correct?
Right. Like there's some other basic rights for the women that they're also endangered in those provinces, especially on the northern provinces, where the people were very advanced, and they were even the girl was driving on the street. So now they are somehow restricted, and they cannot go outside. And you know that education is very important for human being to work. So if they are not allowed anymore to go to schools and university and college, so in future they will not be able to work in different offices, and they cannot raise their children in the way that they need to be raised.
Roger, let me ask you this. Is it true? I've always heard that the women are not allowed to be outside unless they're accompanied by a man from the family. Is that true or false?
Yeah, this is actually true. There was an announcement, official announcement by Taliban in Baghlan city, that the woman should not go outside without their family members. I mean, family members who is male. But some of those social worker also stood against them, against this kind of announcement that was made by Taliban that some of those women lost their husband and brothers, so they're living alone with their children, so they cannot go outside to earn their living, to shop some food, or to go and to go to bazaar to purchase some requirements that they need. They are in need of those. So this is actually the need that the Taliban shouldn't announce this kind of
Now, Roger, I want to get into some things here. Now, what was the first thing you did when you got to America? Like when you got off the plane, like what was the first thing once you get your bags, you get all your stuff? Was there something you had in mind you wanted to do when you first came to America?
Yeah, especially in Afghanistan, we cannot go outside most of the time in midnight with the ladies. So when I arrived here, it was almost 12:30. By the time we arrived to the hotel that we were supposed to stay at that night, it was almost 3 a.m. And
how did that feel? Did it feel? Did it feel weird?
Yeah, it was 3 a.m. and we took all our bags and baggage to our room. And after that, me, my wife, and my son went outside. We went to shop something, and we were in need of some water, so we purchased some water. And we were feeling that we are completely in different planet with a safe environment, and we didn't have any fear that from some place Taliban will attack, or any terrorist or thief will come and will take whatever we have with us. So we were feeling very comfortable and safe in the United States at the first night that we arrived here.
Have you tried any American cuisine since you've been here? Like, have you gone to any of our fast food chains or anything like that? Or are you like a healthy living type guy? I was just curious, if you've tried out, because America is known for their fast food restaurants and stuff like that. Have you?
We had a chance. One of my friends was living in Philadelphia. By the time he got my call, he arrived here with his family, and he took us, and we went to Washington, D.C. We saw the places that was important to see. I like the museum that was the Black Museum, I think.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly. Yep.
National Black Museum, yeah. And we went to see the monument.
I mean, that has to be, and
after that, yeah, we went to there was another restaurant. I really forgot the names here because it's.
What type of food was it? What type of food was it?
Like the Nando's. I think the name of the restaurant was Nando's restaurant.
Yeah.
African American restaurant.
So soul food, we call it here in America soul food.
Yeah, the name of the restaurant is Nando's, I think. Nando's.
Yeah, and do you know what you had? Do you know what you had?
Yeah, we had some chickens, some fried chickens, and those were very delicious. And we came back then home, and we are happy here.
That is amazing, man. I can't even imagine, because I really do feel like when you live in a place for so long, you take things for granted. You do. Like we take our freedoms for granted here in the United States, and I can't even imagine what it must be like for you to be here now. It's got to be kind of overload when it comes to just being stimulated,
You're right. Actually, all of those who are coming to the United States, at first they are very excited that by the time they get out of the airport. They want to see some good places, like to freely breathe. And in Afghanistan, we never had any chance to go outside and relax in a safe place and feel free. So this is the things that by the time we arrived here, we thought that we should go somewhere and sit alone, by self, and just breathe and feel safe and free. So
Yeah.
that was the good thing that we felt at the same day that we arrived in the United States. And that's how we feel.
All right, so I gotta ask, how were you able to get here? I mean, remember the name that we're using for how were you able to get here? Like, how was it capable? When so many people have been trying to get out of Afghanistan, how were you able to get here?
I got an email. So I got an email when I was at home, and they told me that if you want to participate on the evacuation program, so you just reply to the email and confirm that you and your family would like to be part of this evacuation, and we will send you the further instruction. So it took almost 10 days that after my confirmation, they sent me another email that and told me that I should go to do some medical screening, and after that, they send me that
What's it?
flight ticket.
Was it the SIV program?
Yeah, it was SIV program. We came through SIV program, but you know that the SIV program was somehow different than the process.
What is the? Can you explain what the SIV program is?
Actually, the special migration visa is for those people who are who's working or have work experience with the youth troops and youth-based organization in Afghanistan, like interpreters, those who have worked with the projects funded by the youth government, like in China.
So people that have helped us. So you're saying people that have helped us. And I completely 100% agree with that. I think people don't. Oh, hold on. I don't think people realize how much of a risk that you and others from Afghanistan took to be able to help out our country. And I support that completely. I was so mad when I was seeing what was going on and the promises that were made. And I'm so glad that you were not abandoned. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you did, even though you might not admit it, Roger, though you did take a big risk and a big chance. And I'm glad that our government was able to fulfill their promise to you.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this program is actually for those who's taking risks for helping the Americans in Afghanistan, and that's why that after withdrawal, all of the people who was somehow affiliated with the U.S. government are yelling that the American government should do something to evacuate them from Afghanistan. And fortunately, I was one of them who made it and came here. So I'm very thankful from the U.S. government that they made such a program to help those people. Otherwise, you know that at the first time when I joined the U.S. government, I was not knew that they have such a program. And suppose if they didn't had such a program and promise with the people like me, at this time I would be killed by Taliban, because I was not knew that there's an SIV at first when I joined the U.S. embassy. So I'm very thankful from the U.S. government that they, on that time when they had started the mission in Afghanistan, they they had in mind that there should be a program by the name of SIV that somehow through the SIV they would help the people of Afghanistan or those people are who are most at risk
All right.
by working with the youth government.
Roger, can I ask you though, since you didn't know about the program, what made you want to help out Americans?
So you know that the Afghan people are very poor people, and they're trying to get good jobs. So at that time, first when I joined the youth embassy, the main purpose of mine was that I will
They
get
paid you.
yeah, I will get a good pay, and beside that, I will get good experience in the United States, since the United States organizations are multinational culture organization, and they are having, I mean, professional people on those organizations. So that was my main objective, that I will get good experience, and in future I may be qualified for different position in other organization if I work with the youth embassy in Afghanistan. Later on, I found that by working with the youth government, that has also pros and cons, and maybe after their withdrawal, or maybe if they left us behind, I will be killed. But I saw that there's also another option by the name of SIV that if somebody is at risk, they can apply to the USAV, SIV, and then they will help them. So I
Now,
applied
Roger,
for SIV in 2007, but the bad thing with SIV is that it takes a lot of time.
well, you got it done in 12 days, though. That is fast, the U.S. government. I'm just saying, like, when you got the email and stuff, and you had to fill out the stuff, and you got it done in 12 days.
No,
Now,
this is not the truth, because I got an evacuation email after 3 years. So I was part of this program from 2017, and after a long process, getting the COM approval, getting the UCIS approval, getting the green light from the DHS after my background check, and after all of this process, then when I had my visa in hand, then I got an email to just take a flight ticket and leave the country. And that's why I'm worried about those people who are
that are
left
still there.
behind. Yeah, they are still there, and they are at the middle of their SIV process, and this process is very frustrating process, and it kills those people who are waiting too long to get just an email from the SIV team. And
now,
before
Roger, let me ask you, who did you have to have a sponsor to be able to get that? And I know who it was, but talk a little bit about him. Well, your relationship with Vulture, was he your sponsor, or like I tell me a little bit about that.
My sponsor was Vulture. He provided me with a good recommendation letter, despite at that time I had other recommendation letters from my other colleagues, but the recommendation
Vulture was the
that,
one that followed through. Vulture got things done.
Yeah, but the recommendation letter that was provided to me by Vulture, that was really good, and I thought that I should submit that to SIU program, and he helped me a lot through all this process. So after I arrived here, I contact him. So he also tried to help me out with my home, and also the those things that I was in need of, those like furniture and other homes appliances. So he provided me everything. So he is treating me like his
brother.
brother.
He
And
talks
he
to
is,
you. he talks about you like your family. Like he really, really does. Like
Yeah,
he
I'm also very happy and delighted that I'm having a good brother like him in the United States, and he is a very caring person. I'm proud of him. I am. I wish I also do something for him, but
Oh, you
since
will.
I
You will.
knew, yeah,
You will.
since I'm new here, but I promise that if I become in a stage that I can do something, then I will probably do something for him. But he is really a good guy. He's like my
But you know what?
real
You don't.
brother.
You don't have to though. Like he's a Vulture, my producer. He is the type of guy that does things and does not expect things in return. Now, if you don't want to answer this question, you don't have to. But can you give me like an idea of one of maybe the what I mean by hairiest times, like where you and Vulture were together, where like like your help to get out of a bad situation. Like, I mean, I don't want you don't have to go into details if you don't want to, but like, like I think you don't even realize how much you've already, you say that you hope to one day repay him. Was there any close moments while working with Vulture?
Yeah, we had really good times in Afghanistan
What about
as
the
well.
MF story? What about the MF story?
We had really a good story and good background in Afghanistan. We were working together. Once in a week, we were playing football as well, and we were going to different missions by vehicle. We were doing the.
And by the
Uh,
way, I can I curse in front of you by MF? I can say it, motherfucker story. Like that's
Yeah.
the story. That's the story that I wanted to bring up.
You know that
Something
someday,
about the gate guard. Something
yeah,
about the gate guard.
yeah, I will tell you about one of them, not
Okay.
about the gate guard. There's another story. One day we had a travel briefing because those students who are coming to the United States before they have flight, we are giving them a travel brief. So we had that travel brief, and there was some almost 7 students, and two of them were Afghan girls, ladies. So Watcher was very serious on that day. So after the briefing, he stood up and he told to all of those that learn how to fly, how to fight against terrorists, go to America, learn, try your best, pass the exam, learn, and come back and kill these motherfuckers.
now,
So
I
yeah, so he turned it to me and he told me that translate this.
yeah.
So
And you did you say that to him, or did you put it in a different type of words? Like,
so I was looking to him. So he told me, "Why you're looking? Just translate." I told him, "No, I cannot translate."
it definitely sounds like
You use
something
these
like
words
Vulture would
and I
say.
cannot translate this in front of this girl.
Is there even a word like is there Afghanistan word even for motherfucker though? I mean, is there?
Yeah, there is a word in Afghanistan for motherfucker, but since it is really, really extremely bad word in
Yeah,
Afghanistan, we
I get it.
even cannot use it in public and
Because
especially in
it's disrespectful to somebody's mother,
right, right. But especially in front of the leaders, if we say these words, uh, be sure that those guys cannot
Hear it.
have any eye contact with you, and they have to leave the place. So
Yeah.
this is really bad word that we are not using in Afghanistan.
Roger,
So,
final question. Do you hope to one day to be able to take the oath to become an American citizen?
yeah, definitely.
What would that mean to you? What would that mean to you?
That's very important for me because I spent 7 years of my life helping the U.S. government. So I went through some different tests like polygraph test, different background check. So uh, I was already American when I joined the U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan, because from that time I was honest, and it's very important for me to be
To take that
national.
oath.
Yeah,
That's an
to take
important
that
thing.
oath and to be, to have another citizenship, like.
I know you love your country. Like I'm not saying that you're not going to love your country, but what I'm saying though is to finally what I'm saying is would you be proud to be an American
Yeah,
citizen?
I'm saying that. So because America is a very proud country, not only here but around the world. It's known by it's proud, and everybody laughs it. And this will be a proud for me as well to have a citizenship of this country and be counted as a American in this world. So this is very good for me, and
Will
I
you
will be
vote?
really happy. I
Will
will be
you
really.
will you vote when you become an American citizen? Like
Yes, why not?
take a part of the
Yes,
process.
yes, yes, definitely. I will vote, and I will work for the Americans. For I mean, for the government, even for the people of America, and I will serve America. I promise that I will serve America in critical situation, even in war zone again.
Mm-hmm.
If they send me back in other countries where the American troops go for, or even if Americans deploy their troops to another country
You would go
for
and
such a
help.
mission, yeah, I would definitely go and stand with the other my brother and sister alongside with them.
Mm-hmm.
I will serve my country, and this will be a proud for me.
Now, I know that Vulture recently got I don't know, had he ever met your family? I know he recently had a chance to. What was that like for your good friend, the guy that sponsored you to get here to
Yeah,
him
so
to be able to meet your family?
those were very sad days of mine because I was always worrying about my parents in Afghanistan. So by the time I got him a call and I told him the story that I am in this situation, so he brought himself here. He on the same day he arrived here, and he he felt me that I have a family member now in America as well who cares about me, and we had really a good time. And on those 2 days, we were enjoying the America, and those
He
was the
said
real days.
your wife is a very good cook.
Yeah, yeah. My wife was cooking, and me and Walter was eating a lot, so we were also good eaters.
Yeah, no, Vulture can definitely put it down. You know that here, I don't know if you know this, but Vulture does all the dishes though, in the house. Do you know that? Like every time I call, like he's always washing dishes. Did you know that about Vulture?
No, I didn't knew that,
No,
but he
no,
was
he
trying to do
does.
that
No, he
in
does
our
he
home as
does
well, but
he does
since
a
he was a
lot of
kid.
lady work. He does a lot of lady work here. If you don't know, I'm just joking around. By the way, I'm just busting on that. Here in America,
So
guys
yeah,
do.
since he is a really kind man, so definitely he would help his family, especially his family. Especially his life partner in cooking and washing. I would do the same. It's not a bad thing. So
No,
I
you're
will
in
also.
America now. You got to learn this. You're in America now. It's all equal here, man. It's all
Right.
equal here.
And
There's no.
I was doing this kind of help in Afghanistan as well.
I know
We were
you
cooking
are.
together.
I know you are, but like, I have problem with, I'm not saying American women sometimes get a little like full of themselves, they're, equal rights and stuff, which I agree with. I completely support. But what I'm saying is, Vulture, he's a little whipped, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, Roger, man, I really appreciate the time, man, and not including you do have another brother, you do have a friend, you do have a family member in me. And if there's anything you ever need, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I proud on both of you. You're both my good friends, brothers. So you're now my family members here.
And I promise you, and when you do, well, not if, when you do take your citizenship oath, I want to be there, like, because I think that would be a cool experience to see.
Yeah, for sure. Why not? We will go together to get the oath of citizenship.
All right. Hey, Roger, I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope your wife and your kid are doing fine. And like I said, don't hesitate to reach out if you ever need anything, okay?
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And that's the show for today. Thanks for listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hey, don't be a dickhead. Do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. Also, check out the Tuddle category at 315live.com. The Tuddle Daily Podcast is brought to you by Starfire Transport, StitchYouUp.com, and PocketPairClub.com. Special thanks to show producer Vulture and co-host Sirach. Show voiceover service is brought to you by JCVoiceover.com and The Little Cheese Show. Download and subscribe to The Little Cheese Show everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to help support the show, go to paypal.me/Tuddle on the radio. You have something you want to say? Tuddle@gmail.com or leave a voicemail at 407-270-3044. To follow all Tuddle social media, go to Tuddle.net. That's Tuddle with 2Ds.net. Thanks again for all your support, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
I get ignorant in normal situations.
What you mean?
What the fuck you mean?
What are you talking about?
Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?
Oh, shit.